Welcome to my YouTube channel today. Our topic is about the human algorithm. Have you ever wondered if the human mind works like an algorithm? That is, a set of steps, rules, and patterns, like a program running inside us. Long before artificial intelligence and computers, the earliest psychologists were already trying to answer this question. Their mission was to discover if human thought, memory, and behavior followed predictable patterns. This became one of the central quests of early psychology. Today we think of algorithms as the heart of computers, smartphones, and AI, but more than 100 years ago, scientists were already asking, could the human brain itself be following hidden algorithms? This curiosity gave birth to experimental psychology as science, dedicated to breaking down the mysteries of the mind into measurable steps. In the late 19th century, psychology separated itself from philosophy. For centuries, questions about the mind had been purely theoretical. But now, scientists wanted evidence. Wilhelm Wundt, often called the father of psychology, opened the very first psychology laboratory in 1879 in Leipzig, Germany, when his students used experiments to measure reaction times, attention, and perception. Their goal was to see if thoughts could be studied like chemical reactions step by step, almost like an algorithm. Around the same time, William James in the United States wrote the Principles of Psychology. Instead of breaking the mind into small pieces, he emphasized the flow of consciousness, compared it to a stream, always moving, never stopping. Together, Wundt and James laid two different foundations, one viewing the mind as a structured process, and the other as a flowing system, the mind as a machine. As psychology entered the 20th century, a new group of thinkers called the Behaviorists emerged. John B. Watson, and later B.F. Skinner, argued that the mind could not be seen, but behavior could be measured. To them, humans were like machines. Given a stimulus, they would produce a predictable response. With enough training and conditioning, behavior could be programmed, just like code in an algorithm. This approach made psychology more scientific, but also more mechanical. People were reduced to input and output systems, much like early computers. Memory and learning, one of the pioneers in studying memory, was Hermann Ebbinghaus. He tested himself by memorizing lists of nonsense syllables. From these experiments, he discovered patterns in how memory works. He created the forgetting curve, which showed how quickly we forget information over time if we don't review it. He also described the spacing effect, the idea that information is remembered better when studied at intervals, rather than all at once. These discoveries revealed that memory isn't random. It follows predictable, almost mathematical rules that look very much like algorithms for storing and retrieving data. Beyond machines, however, not all psychologists believe the human mind could be reduced to mechanical steps. William James argued that emotions, free will, and personal experience are central to understanding the mind. Later, Gestalt psychologists emphasized that humans don't just process information in parts. Instead, we perceive patterns, holes, and meaning things that don't easily fit into step-by-step formulas. This raised a bigger question. Even if the brain has algorithm-like processes, does that fully capture what it means to be human? Conclusion. So, was early psychology's quest really about finding a human algorithm? In many ways, yes. Wundt's experiments, Watson's behaviorism, and Ebbinghaus's memory studies all suggested that thought and behavior follow predictable rules. But at the same time, thinkers like James in the Gestalt school reminded us that human experience is more than numbers and patterns. Their debates laid the foundation for today's neuroscience, cognitive psychology, and even artificial intelligence fields, still asking whether the brain is ultimately an algorithm or something beyond. Call to action, what do you think? Is the human mind just a complex algorithm? Or is there something deeper that science can't measure? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this exploration of early psychology, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more fascinating stories about the history of science and the mind.